Hello everyone, welcome to today's class. I hope all of you are doing great. तो आज की क्लास में अपन CFA prerequisite readings का डिस्कशन करेंगे. I've been getting a lot of queries on what it is all about. Is it part of the syllabus? Will it be tested in the examinations? Can I not directly skip into the core content and skip the prerequisite readings all about? If I directly jump into the core content, will I be able to understand it? एंड ये सारे क्वेश्चंस को मैंने इस क्लास में कवर करने की कोशिश करी है. तो सबसे पहले समझो कि व्हाट इज सीएफए प्रीरिक्विजिट रीडिंग्स, वेयर डिड इट कम फ्रॉम. तो 2023 के पहले क्या होता था कि सीएफए इंस्टीट्यूट का स्पेशली कॉन्ट्स, इकोनॉमिक्स एंड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट एनालिसिस का सिलेबस बहुत वॉल्यूमिनस होता था. Now the CFA Institute knows कि a lot of students, those who are registering for L1 examinations, या तो they are undergraduates, they have a professional degree, or they are in the process of undergraduation. तो ये सारी चीजें उनको पढ़ाई होगी उनके अंडर ग्रेजुएशन या प्रोफेशनल एग्जामिनेशंस में. इफ वी अगेन टीच द सेम थिंग्स टू द स्टूडेंट्स तो वो थोड़ा मोनोटोनस हो जाएगा, कंटेंट थोड़ा हमारा बोरिंग हो जाएगा एंड अगेन द सेम थिंग बिंग रिपीटेड. तो इस चीज को कम करने के लिए सीएफए इंस्टीट्यूट ने क्या बोला कि ठीक है, हम एक प्री रिक्विजिट रीडिंग एक वॉल्यूम अलग से बना देंगे जहाँ पे वो टॉपिक्स जो कि बहुत ज़्यादा कॉमन है and we are already expecting you have a basic understanding, you have a basic theme about what those topics are, वो हम उसमें इंक्लूड कर देंगे. इन केस यू डोंट नो, यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड the very basic things, you need to read those prerequisite readings before you proceed with your core concepts. ठीक है. In case you already have an idea about it, you will already get through most of the core concepts. So इस चीज को ध्यान में रखते हुए सीएफए इंस्टीट्यूट ने सीएफए प्रीरिक्विजिट रीडिंग्स का एक अलग से वॉल्यूम तैयार किया जिसका सिलेबस कट आउट हुआ था फ्रॉम योर एग्जिस्टिंग मटेरियल्स ओनली. जो आप पहले पढ़ाया जाता था उन्हीं में से निकाल के उन्होंने एक CFA prerequisite readings का वॉल्यूम अलग से बनाया. When you look at these readings, most of the things you have already studied in your undergraduation. There is nothing new. These are not very big deal in itself because you have already been taught about it. Let's say I talk to you about cash flow statements. You already know कि cash flow statements में तीन components हैं: operating, investing and financing. ठीक है. The core content deals with how to analyze a cash flow statement, how to calculate ratios based on it. Now you already have a basic sense about what are cash flow statements. I hope you will be able to cover the core concepts बहुत अच्छे से. In case you don't have an idea, these prerequisite readings are always there for you. You can refer them and get back to it. ठीक है. So you get an idea about what CFA prerequisite reading is all about. Now what are the subjects that have been covered in this reading? So Quants, economics and financial statements are basically the three areas जहाँ पे CFA Institute ने ये वॉल्यूम को तैयार किया. The next question comes कि who is it for? Who should refer this CFA prerequisite readings? See, the candidates who do not have a very basic understanding about the concepts should very thoroughly read these readings before they dive into the core reading वाला concept. ठीक है. Otherwise, you will not be able to understand very important topics. In case you have not studied about it, let's say financial statements. If anyone is doing CFA from an engineering background, he might not be very much aware about the financial statements. How does it look? What are its components? How do you prepare cash flow statement? How does an income statement look? What are the components of a balance sheet? If they directly come and study financial statement का analysis, you don't know its components, how will you analyze it? So उनके लिए CFA prerequisite readings बहुत important हो जाता है. Yes, let's say you have done your economic honors. Now you're already very thorough with economics, how in general it moves, what is the basic theme around it. Now if you ask to me about should I cover CFA prerequisite readings on economics, I would say no. I will tell you not to cover it, directly jump into the core concepts. And likewise, this is a choice that you have to take for yourself. Is it a part of the syllabus? Yes, it is very much part of your syllabus. You need to have this idea, you need to have that understanding, because इसके बिना आप core concepts को नहीं समझ पाओगे. Let's say you also have sufficient time before the examinations. Maybe you can give a read. If you don't have sufficient time before the examinations, you can directly skip for the core concepts and refer these topics just in case you want to revise and refer. ठीक है, जब नहीं समझ में आए. Let's say you already have a bachelor's degree or a professional degree like CA, CS, MBA and all, then you can directly skip to the core concept. Now, how exhaustive are these readings? These readings are quite voluminous. To be very much honest, 450 से 500 pages का content है, and it requires time to go through. So these are not very light readings कि आपको थोड़े handouts दे दिए and you are covering that. ऐसा नहीं है. These are voluminous topics. Will it be tested in your examinations? See, again, this is a thing that I cannot answer you because this is something that the institute is setting up the paper. But in a general sense, this will not be directly tested. But some questions may require understanding of these very basic topics and indirectly आपका ये चीज टेस्ट हो सकता है. If you are already very much clear with your core concepts, तब आपको इनके questions के अलग से सिर्फ practice की requirement नहीं है. core concepts को अच्छे से समझो, उसके सारे questions अच्छे से practice करो and आपका काम हो जाएगा. You will be easily able to get through all your questions. ठीक है? Now, in case I do want to go through the CFA prerequisite readings, but I don't have sufficient time. And if you ask me what are the very important areas that I need to cover, so this is my guide on it. It starts with Quants, and Quants mein there are roughly 6 readings. You're starting with interest rates, PV and FV. You need to have very basic idea about time value of money and the effective annual rate wala concept. In case you don't, you can watch my class. It's already uploaded. About data and statistics, you need to know what are the types of data and how you visualize a data set. Probability concepts, you need to understand basic definitions. Probability के what are exhaustive events, what are mutually exclusive events, ये सबको पता होना चाहिए and probability rules का idea होना चाहिए. Common probability distribution में most of the folks don't know what a probability distribution is, how is it made, what are different types of probability distribution and when to use what type. ये सारी चीजें आपको नहीं पता है तो then you can refer this. फिर आया sampling and estimation. इसमें आपको point estimate का concept पता होना चाहिए and how do you create a confidence interval. Interval estimate कैसे निकालते हैं ये आपको पता होना चाहिए. For hypothesis testing, you do not need to refer CFA का prerequisite readings. I hope आपका core concept ही इस पढ़ाई को पूरा कवर कर लेगा. आपको और कुछ रेफर नहीं करना है. Just stick to your core and you will be able to get through it. When it comes to economics, demand and supply से अगर अपन start करें तो you need to know what is elasticity of demand, what is marginal revenue, marginal cost. Absolutely thorough with these concepts. How do you calculate a profit maximizing point? ये आपको पता होना चाहिए. Second, next coming to firms and market structure. You do not have to refer anything extra on the prerequisite part. आपका core readings will suffice it. Then coming to aggregate output prices and economic growth. इसमें आपको जीडीपी क्या होती है and what are the components of GDP ये एक सेंस ले लेना. Coming to business cycle, इसमें आपको employment, unemployment and inflation के concepts पता होना चाहिए. Monetary and fiscal policy वाले part में Fisher effect देख लेना. International trade and concepts में balance of payment के concepts आपको पता होना चाहिए and what are its components, how are they moving. ठीक है, ये देख लेना. Currency exchange rates में there is nothing that you need to as such study from prerequisite part. Core readings आप पढ़ोगे, you will be able to get through. Financial statement analysis का prerequisite reading बहुत ज़्यादा voluminous है and it makes sense because folks who do not have any idea about financial statement analysis उनको अपन को detail wise एक एक component को समझाना पड़ता है balance sheet के, cash flows के, P&L के, and that is why it becomes voluminous. If you understand the basic theme, आपका prerequisite part आपको बताएगा what are these components and आपका core readings बताएगा how do you analyze these components. ठीक है. इंट्रोडक्शन टू फाइनेंशियल रिपोर्टिंग जो फर्स्ट आपका रीडिंग है prerequisite में, उसमें आपको एक जनरल आइडिया ले लेना है. देयर इज नथिंग एज सच यू नीड टू नो. इनकम स्टेटमेंट्स में यू डू नॉट नीड टू कवर एनीथिंग, योर कोर रीडिंग्स विल सफाइस इट. बैलेंस शीट में यू नीड टू understand what is the format of a balance sheet, how do you present different items, what is non-current asset, what is statement of changes in equity, ये देख लेना. Cash flow statements में you need to have that ability to differentiate between a cash item and a non-cash item. फिर IFRS and US GAAP के क्या क्या requirements है, what are the differences between this when it comes to cash flow statements, वो देख लेना. Inventories में most of you already know कि their valuation methods क्या होते हैं, FIFO, LIFO, ये सारे inventory system, perpetual inventory system, ये सब क्या है, एक basic idea आपको पता होना चाहिए. लॉन्ग टर्म एसेट्स में आपको डेप्रिसिएशन के बारे में आइडिया होना चाहिए. हाउ डू यू कैलकुलेट डेप्रिसिएशन, व्हाट आर द मेथड्स ऑफ कैलकुलेटिंग डेप्रिसिएशन एंड रिवैल्यूएशन मॉडल, एंड हाउ डू यू have accounting adjustments for any revaluation, इसका आइडिया होना चाहिए. When it comes to income taxes, आपको टैक्स बेस क्या होता है, टेम्पोररी डिफरेंस क्या होता है, करंट टैक्सेस, डिफर्ड टैक्सेस, इनका कंसेप्ट पता होना चाहिए. नॉन करंट लाइबिलिटीज में आप अकाउंटिंग फॉर बॉन्ड्स देख लेना. हाउ डू यू अकाउंट फॉर इंटरेस्ट रेट पेमेंट्स, हाउ डू यू अकाउंट फॉर एमोटाइजेशन, कंसेप्ट आपको अच्छे से आइडिया होना चाहिए. एनालिसिस ऑफ एफएसए, इसमें आपको इतना दिमाग नहीं लगाना है एप्लीकेशंस में, बिकॉज योर कोर रीडिंग्स वेरी वेल कवर की हाउ डू यू एनालाइज एंड हाउ डू यू अप्लाई दैट. यू कैन जॉइन माई व्हाट्सएप चैनल and I can send you this document. If you have taken classes from me, I don't think you need to worry about any of these things. अपन लोग क्लास में बहुत thoroughly हर प्री-रिक्विसाइट पार्ट को कवर करें. In case you need it, and I think कि इसका अंडरस्टैंडिंग आपको होना चाहिए. I've already incorporated it in my classes and my notes. In class we have something called Quants फंडामेंटल का डिस्कशन, जहाँ पे अपन इन डिटेल प्री-रिक्विसाइट पार्ट का डिस्कशन करते हैं. ठीक है. देन व्हेन इट कम्स टू प्रोबेबिलिटी, अपन अपेंडिक्स टू प्रोबेबिलिटी कंसेप्ट्स बोल के क्लास में रीडिंग करते हैं, जिसमें हम सारी प्रोबेबिलिटी के बेसिक कंसेप्ट्स की रीडिंग करते हैं. व्हेन इट कम्स टू इकोनॉमिक्स, लेट्स से बिजनेस साइकिल, उसमें अपन अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट, इन्फ्लेशन, सारा का डिस्कशन करते हैं. एंड this is very handy document. If you have taken classes from me, you do not need to worry about prerequisite part. This video is not for you. I've already incorporated that in my classes as well as in my notes. Okay. If in case you have not taken classes and you're sailing your own boat, then this might help you. This document might help you. As of now, if you already have an understanding, I suggest you can directly skip into the core concepts. In case you do not have an understanding around these basics, then prerequisite reading का आपको समझना जरूरी है. It not be directly tested in your examination, but indirectly कहीं ना कहीं से linkage आ सकता है. ठीक है. I hope this helps, and in case of any doubt, feel free to contact me. Bye bye everyone. Take care.